the great legend. I don't know how this is possible if they're in the same universe or not. Any thoughts of a Lucifer Riverdale crossover?
Here's what I'll tell you. The amount of work it took to get Lucifer into Crisis on Infinite Earths, which, by the way...
Oh, talk about that, Joe, please. Yes.
Sure. I mean, like, so here, I'll tell you what happened is...
Yeah.
The crossover previously happened, and it said, coming next year, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I immediately emailed Dan Evans at DC, who's an executive there, and I said, if there are Infinite Earths, Lucifer is on one of them. It's Earth 666. And I was like, that's just what it is. And he's like, that's a good point. I'm like, listen, whoever I need to arm wrestle, I want to make this happen. And months passed, because obviously months passed in between. And I actually don't know how much of it was me whispering in Dan's ear or Mark Guggenheim having already thought of it, which is my guess. But and the two of them sort of colliding. But it's a legal nightmare just for that. But everyone did it because it was also the coolest thing ever. It's Lucifer and Constantine. It's like, you've got to do it if you've got the chance. So the very, very long answer, short, is probably not, especially just because, I mean, I can almost say definitely not, just because we're almost done with our season. But
okay.
I love crossovers. I love things like that. But that one almost killed us. So
did you shoot it? Did you shoot it on your sets, or
we went up to Vancouver? Tom and I took a flight. I glommed on. I say, like, oh yeah, they needed me up there. No, I glommed on. I was like, I'm going.
Oh, that's so great.
And it was awesome because I got to hang out with them. And there was a writer from Flash, from Supergirl, from Black Lightning, from Arrow, and so I got to sort of get to know a whole bunch of the writers from the Arrowverse. I already knew most of them, which was kind of awesome. And it was just this wonderful collective moment where you're like, this is history. This is something big and cool, and we want to be a part of it.
I mean, luckily Tom's scene, he wasn't throwing any flying kicks or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, but because we basically had 3 hours. We had 3 hours to shoot the scene. And so, and by the way, Lauren Serto is the name of the writer who wrote the scene. I think we pitched a couple lines. I pitched the line where Lucifer is where Diggle's being aggressive to Lucifer, and he's like, flirt. I'll take full credit for that. That's all I get. Everything else was her. And actually Tom and Matt Ryan riffing a little bit here and there. And actually, no, one other thing, Mike Costa, one of the writers from our show and a comic writer, was talking to Tom Ellis, and he's like, it's actually Constantine. And he went into this lengthy explanation of Alan Moore and how he actually meant it to be Constantine and how it's a terrible, terrible thing that it's Constantine. And Tom was like, I'm going to use that to needle him.
That's outstanding.
But that was the fun of it, because we're all fans and we all love it. But when it comes to the TV industry and everything, one of the things that I find really interesting is in the era of COVID, everything takes longer, everything's harder, which is again speaks to crossovers and things like that. It's harder to share things and people because it's all about safety. It's all about how do you make sure everyone's taken care of, and also production schedules everything takes longer to shoot. A lot of shows are shooting over longer periods of time, which is going to make it harder to shoot as many episodes as people have previously done.
Someone asked, obviously, if Earth 666 survived. Well, of course it did. That's the Lucifer Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
No, it's funny when I was like, did we just explode? Did they just kill us? We're sneakily out there, devilishly, if you will.
Of course, exactly.